Danger, Will Robinson, in a moment.
Silence, you ninny!
Hello out there, I'm the Oldest Nerd, and I just found out a few days ago that Lost in Space is going to have yet another reboot. And this one is going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be a 10-episode series on Netflix that's going to start just in a couple of weeks from now. So we're looking forward to what they come up with. I have some concerns about it, shall we say. For me, it was a show I grew up with. Before I watched Star Trek, I watched Lost in Space. I was like 9 years old or so when Lost in Space first came on. Bill Mumy was like 11, so I could really identify with the show. And in fact, if might have left them to watch Star Trek immediately, except for bad publicity from NBC. But we'll talk about that in another video. First of all, the cast. Let's talk about who's on this. Meena Sundwal as Penny, Max Jenkins as Will. They've had some bit parts here and there, child actors. Molly Parker will play Maureen. She was in Deadwood and also several episodes of House of Cards. You might recognize her. Parker Posey is going to play Dr. Smith. Parker Posey is the so-called Queen of the Indies. She's been in a number of small films, and in this case they're changing the gender of Dr. Smith, but will be the same kind of scheming individual. Taylor Russell will be Judy, a mixed race or apparently mixed race member of the Robinson family. She played Evelyn in Falling Skies. Then Ignacio Saraccio, Don West, is going to be kind of a space pirate or a space smuggler or perhaps a Han Solo type for Lost in Space. He was in Young and the Restless, and so, you may or may not know anything of him. Then John Robinson, played by Toby Stephens. He's a British actor who's been in a James Bond film called Die Another Day and also in Space Cowboys. So that looks like the cast. The plot is this. It's very much the same as the original series in that there's the Earth is getting overpopulated or overpolluted or over something, and this family is selected, except in this case among many other families, to colonize another world. And they send the Robinsons on Jupiter 2, and there's also a Jupiter 1 and a Jupiter 3 and a Jupiter 4 and a Jupiter 5 and so on. So there are going to be several families set out. And there's a cosmic storm or something that's going to cause the Robinsons to go off course, and maybe some other people too, and end up on this planet that they not intended to be on. Now, Dr. Smith in the original show was an agent for some unnamed foreign power who was trying to keep the Robinsons from making their trip. In this case, she is kind of a con artist. So what her purposes with the Robinsons are, we don't know yet, or at least not overtly. Then there will be some other characters too back at what was once called Alpha Control. I don't know if they're going to continue to call it Alpha Control. We know there's going to be a robot. We know there's going to be a Will Robinson. We don't know just much of anything else. They had some pictures that went along with it, and they have a trailer which we're going to give you a link to in the description below. So if this is something you're looking forward to, I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Why not leave me one? I'd love to hear from you. I'd like to have a discussion with you on what you think of Lost in Space. Meantime, thank you for joining us. Don't go far.